From the Oklahoman newsroom, it's time for an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio. News broke a week or so ago that Jalen Hurts was transferring from Alabama to Oklahoma. But this week, Oklahoma made it official as they put out a statement saying that Jalen Hurts was officially signed on the dotted line, a Sooner. Joe Masato joins us on the phone. Joe, I don't know if there was any doubt, but I guess this is the formal word that, yes, Jalen Hurts will be a Sooner quarterback come August and September.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking when we got that release, and I was like, well, I kind of thought this had already been done, but it's now official. Jalen Hurts signs this financial aid agreement. He's enrolled in classes like any other OU student now, so it is officially official. Jalen Hurts is in Norman, and actually just saw a picture this morning of him in the indoor facility, sort of surrounded by his new receiving core and tight ends and everything like that. So it seems like he's already getting acclimated to his new teammates as well.
Well, I was going to say official by a press release from Oklahoma, but also social media official, which these days, it's got to become official on social media before it truly is. And so to see Jalen Hurts in Sooner gear, in the Sooner facilities, I think added to the for sure nature of all this. But Joe, you bring up the guys he was with in that picture, and it's not just faces that we know or names that we know well, CeeDee Lamb, for example, in that group of receivers, but some not so familiar faces and names we're just beginning to know. These new five-star receivers that Oklahoma has signed in this 2019 class, they're already with him as well.
Yeah, they're all here. Trajan Bridges, Theo Weiss, and Jaden Hazelwood, the newest addition to that class, who committed a little late. All those guys are already on campus, and I think that's just huge for Jalen Hurts and huge for this passing game. Just to have that early connection. I mean, they're really saving several months here with the early enrollees. I mean, we talked about, the quarterback race could have been completely different if Spencer Rattler was an early enrollee, and maybe they don't even feel the need to bring in a guy like Jalen Hurts. But it just shows you how important getting in for the spring semester is and getting used to those new receivers. And it was an interesting picture because not all the returners looked like they were in it, not all the returning receivers, that is, but it was a lot of new guys, like those 3 5-stars, 4-star tight end Austin Stogner. So it was kind of this interesting contrast of all these freshmen who just got on campus, joined by a guy that went 26-2 at Alabama, who's a senior, and a graduate student now on campus. So a little age discrepancy there.
Yeah. You mentioned Jalen Hurts getting used to these guys, but Joe, I wonder if the train runs both ways on this track, because when in Jalen Hurts, you've got a guy who's been a starter. He's worked off season with guys. Obviously, he's learning a new offense, learning a new system under Lincoln Riley. But I have to think that his ability to work with these receivers, yeah, it benefits Jalen Hurts, but I got to think for those receivers, it's very beneficial to have a quarterback as experienced as Jalen Hurts. That's got to be a huge boon for those guys.
Yeah, exactly, especially when you have turnover at the position, especially, with Marquise Brown, the leading guy, gone. I think it helps that he's here to, even for CeeDee Lamb, a more veteran guy, just to establish that new connection. Lamb's now with his third quarterback already, so but especially for those young guys to already have that sort of leadership. I mean, I think it would be way different if they're coming in with, like, say, Rattler, who's a freshman, and they're all sort of coming in together. No one really knows what's going on. Well, Jalen Hurts is a guy that I would think that, he might be a captain of this team. He might be already a leader, even though he just got to Norman.
Yeah, for sure. And now that obviously, as we see the pictures on social media, it's official, folks. Jalen Hurts, definitely a Sooner, definitely playing for the Sooners in 2019. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.